All right, let's start off this new year on a bed slate. So here we are. Where do I start? So if you check, this car has been parked for a while, about 2 weeks or so now. I just finished changing. Actually, let me give a bit of a background story, right? So I bought this as a project car. For those of you who have been like, oh my gosh, dude, I bought this car for this specific reason, for it to break down so I can learn how to fix it. Think of it like a career change, sort of a career change goal. But yeah, so I bought this as a project car, and then that was in August, right? So on my last video, I posted this car smoking, and I said I'm gonna explain on a follow-up video, but things are actually, well, they took a turn for the worst. Could have been prevented. I'm gonna start off by saying that. So actually, let's dial back a bit, right? So when I went to Supreme Techniques for the gearbox service, look at these little creatures on the car. For the gearbox service, I asked them to do 3 things. The first one was do the rear mainseal, which was the main reason I went there, and then I asked them to do a full gearbox service. And the last one, which I forgot, and they sent me the results, was a full car diagnostics. We're gonna get to that just now, but they discovered some major issues with this car. So fast forward, I think I went to Supreme Techniques sometime around September, yeah, somewhere there. But after that, end of September, I got into an accident in this car, which is the daily. If you guys remember, this is the project car and this is the daily. So this got into an accident. I have a series of me fixing this car. Insurance rejected my claim. It took about 2 months for them to do the whole investigation. So October, November, they returned the car end of November. So for those 2, well, until now, because it now moves, for about 3 or 4 months, this was the daily. And you can imagine, bought a problem car, and suddenly it's the daily. Those of you who also remember, I do about 100 kilometers a day minimum. That is for work and back, and then include all the weekend travels and the shenanigans. So it piles up. So I can say I do about 700 a week. So if you check with this car now, let's get in. Let me find a safe place to put this thing I'm holding. Stay. So if we check this here now, so when I bought this car, it was sitting at 166. Just redoing that. If I start this car, it's sitting at 178. So far I've done about 12,000 kilometers within the last 5 months of getting this car. For those of you who drive and know a lot, I mean, in terms of this whole thing, is normally your service history is going to be 10,000 kilometers. So I've done pretty much about a year's worth of travel in the last 4 months or so. So yeah, it kind of held up good, to be honest. So anyways, let's talk Supreme Techniques and what they discovered, right? I'm just going to flesh out the results for you guys there, something they wrote down for me. But it was 4 things. It was the control arms, which I bought, I haven't replaced. And then it was the front main seal, I haven't attended to that. Then the important one will be the oil cooler, and those BMW fanatics know when your oil cooler leaks, fix it immediately. There's a reason for that. And the other one was the thermostat pipe that's leaking. So the oil cooler is the big one, by the way, which is, I believe, why I'm in this situation right now. So yeah, let me open this up for you guys to see what I mean. Stay. So if we just do that, this is what an oil filter, an oil sump gasket looks like. And then these are a bunch of oil filters. I know, yeah, don't mind the dead. This thing has been parked for an extremely long time now. I mean, a very long time, about 2 weeks or so. Come on, open. All right, so this is the thing that's a problem right here. So we have our oil cooler here, which is leaking. If you check here, actually, this is oil, this is oil, this is oil, like there's, it just kind of everywhere. But if you also check on the inside, in there, the oil filter housing gasket is also leaking, right? Anyway, so some engineers at BMWs were like, how about we put the coolant lines next to the oil line, you know, and then we separate them using a gasket. And some guy was like, yes, Zoe, that's a good example, yeah. So they did it. Now, what happens when that gasket fails? When it completely fails, you have coolant and oil mixing, which is what's happening to this engine. It took a while, I won't lie. It only just started last month. This month, I mean like last week, when I actually opened up. I was supposed to take this car to Siraj, BMW specialist here in Cape Town. So before, I just did like a preliminary check my coolant, which is non-existent, and then I opened this guy, and yeah, I'm gonna open it just now. That's what that tool down there is for. So yeah, apart from that, if you guys remember, we've been having like misfiring issues with this car. I haven't yet found why that is, so that is still another problem. That's actually why I'm taking the car to Siraj. So yeah, let's see. You guys online kind of gave me your ideas, which I won't lie, I genuinely appreciate. BMW is just a pain to deal with. So most of you thought it was the turbocharger leaking coolant to the exhaust housing and then blowing it up as smoke. Still viable. And then there was the EGR cooler suggestion, and then there was the oil splitter, something like that. But pretty much, yeah, you'll give me a lot, so I've been kind of, yeah, been busy. Yeah, I think those pretty much were the issues that we had before the new one. Anyways, actually, let's just take a look, man. Let's just take a look. So this tool here, very sweet tool. You just put it there, and yeah, very difficult to use with one hand, but come on. Yeah, I need to get it to lock, so I can't do this with one. Hey, it locked. There we go. It's not tight because I had literally opened it, but check this out. Come on. You all ready? Wow. So it's not exactly like milky. It actually only started mixing coolant and water when I went for my drive to record content for you guys. Funny enough, the very first time this car smoked, it was in Cape Town. It just smoked like a big puff of smoke, and then I was like, oh my gosh, my car is dead. And then it stopped smoking. I was like, yeah, no, we're good, bro, let's go home. And then I got home. I was like, okay, now that we're home, I can properly smoke for you. And then we went, so it's not bad, like I won't lie. It doesn't really mix that much, but you can just look at its, yeah. So there's that. And then someone suggested I do this. I don't know why they didn't do this from scratch. There. So theories is it's either this, that is can be the only issue, or it's this and the head gasket. If it's the head gasket, I am gonna be extremely annoyed because I wanted to take the chance to forge this car's internal, but I've already spent all my money fixing this car. So yeah. Oh, let's take a look at the coolant. So like I said before, coolant is, these things are very loose because I actually had this thing open yesterday. So coolant is pretty much non-existent, but the color is perfect. Alright, so what's the plan? Before I can conclude on the head gasket, because that's gonna be expensive, takes about 8 hours to replace, and most people charge about 600-700 an hour for labor. So yeah, that's gonna be give or take 6, 7, 8, 9,000 somewhere there. But beforehand, what I'm gonna do is I bought the oil filter housing gasket oil cooler gasket, tapered cover gasket, intake manifold gasket, and the oil sump one. I just thought if I'm going to be replacing gaskets, I might as well replace that. And what else? There's also a bunch of other gaskets and bricks that I bought. So first things first, I have the Luquimoly engine flush. I'm gonna flush this engine the first time, and then replace the oil filter, replace the oil, run the engine, put another engine flush in there, let it kind of clean up all the sludge, whatever it's called. And then once I'm done with that, I will check the color of the oil. If it's still dark, I'll do another flush until we have a consistent color. Then I can change the gaskets. The reason being, I don't want to put in the new gaskets, then they kind of get contaminated, and then, you know, so just flush the whole thing. Yeah, pretty much that. Actually, I'm not sure if I should first change the gaskets, because if I'm running the flushing and there's water in here, it's just gonna keep mixing, right? I don't know. You guys will tell me. I'm not gonna do it now because I'm lazy. But I'll also do the same for the coolant. I'm gonna flush it 2 or 3 times. But yeah. So, well, my title was kind of a question to you guys. Is it not dead, but is it messed up? Is it, you know? Yeah, you guys will let me know. But I still believe this can be quickly. Yeah, there's no need to torque it if I'm gonna be removing it, right? But yeah, if this can be quickly fixed. Oh, something bad that I also created. The starter on this car is dying. I did the compression test last time. I did upload the videos for those who like watching those weird repairs and stuff. But I used the starter to crank the engine. BMW smart guide says don't ever do that. You're gonna damage your starter, which is what I did, and I damaged my starter. Still works, but it's very difficult to. It's kind of struggling to properly crank up the engine and kind of get ignition for it to start. And I think this also got contaminated with oil. So yeah, I won't lie. This right now, everything that's happening could have been prevented. It's genuinely on me. I still don't believe this car was a bad buy. Had I just attended to the things that needed attending to at the time that there were still issues starting up, we wouldn't be in this situation, to be honest. Yeah, this one is on me. But anyways, that is why I bought this car to begin with, to learn nonsense like this. Hey, no. So yeah, catch you guys in the next video.